Hello, this is Michael Osborne with Webucator. In this video, we're going to look at enumerations in .NET and how those enumerations are affected by various .NET operators. Now, this video is based on a blog entry by Jackson Dunstan. Jackson agreed to let us create this video discussing his article, which is available on his blog at the URL shown here. Let's begin by defining enumerations. Enumerations are simply synonyms for numeric values. For example, in the code you see here, I first declare an enumeration called day, which is of type int32, which is the default type for enumerations. Then I have some synonyms, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Sunday is a synonym for the value 0, Monday is the synonym for the value 1, and so forth. Now, I can certainly take more control of my enumeration declaration by defining them of type short, as you see in the enumeration month, and I can also explicitly assign values. For example, January means 1, February means 2, and so forth. Now, the advantage to using synonyms is it allows me to do cool things like this, where rather than referring to numeric values, I can say day.Saturday, day.Monday. This makes my code much more readable, much easier to understand. Now, although the purpose of the enumeration is to allow us to use these synonyms in our code, we need to remember that underneath these enumerations are really numeric values. Because they are numeric values, that means we can use our standard .NET operators with these enumerations to build expressions. And for the most part, that is true. But there are a few issues we need to be aware of here with some of these operators, and that's what this discussion is really all about. So you'll see in the code here, what I've done is I've declared an enumeration called card value. This enumeration is of type S-byte, and this represents the values of the various cards in a deck of cards. So we've got ace, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth, all the way up to king, and then of course we've got to have a joker, so we have a -6. Now, using that enumeration, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at how the various operators affect this enumeration. So what I have here is a main method, and in my main method I begin by defining a variable report, which is simply an empty string. I then define two variables, 5 and 6, where 5 contains an enumeration card value .5 and 6 contains the enumeration card value .6. Then I go through a list of operators that always work with your enumeration. So these include the equality, the non-equality, the less than, the greater than, the less than or equal, greater than or equal to, the logical operators like or and exclusive or, the bitwise complements, the increment, the decrement, and the size of operators, which all work just fine with my enumeration. However, there are some operators that don't play so nice. Here is a list of the operators which simply will not ever work with enumeration. And it seems kind of odd because enumeration is just a numeric value, but in fact you cannot do multiplication, division, modulus, bit shifts, or numeric negation with your enumeration. Now the real weirdness shows up when we look at the addition operator. You'll notice here that if you attempt to add two instances of the enumeration together, you will get a compile error. You cannot do that. However, you can add an integer value to an instance of the enumeration. And if you do that, for example here, if we add 5 and 6, what we will get back is in fact an instance of the enumeration, in this case, Jack. But if you add an integer value which causes it to go outside the bounds of the enumeration, for example, if we add 20 to 5, what we will get back is an integer, in this case the value 25. Now, things get a little odder when you look at the minus operator, because the minus operator works just fine with two instances of the enumeration. However, if you subtract one instance of the enumeration from the other, you will get an integer value back. On the other hand, if you subtract an integer from an instance of the enumeration, you will in fact get another instance of the enumeration back, in this case 1. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to comment out all of the lines of code that would in fact cause compile errors. So let's go ahead and get those commented out real quick. We've got this one right here, or these right here. And we also have the plus operator. We're going to get that commented out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to execute this console application just to show you that in fact we got the results that were expected. So this shows that some of the operators work, obviously some of the others don't, and some give us results that are not exactly what we would necessarily expect. Okay, I'd like to again thank Jackson Dunstan for the inspiration for this video. Be sure and check out his blog at the URL you see here for some other articles related to programming in .NET. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it.